If you've been thinking about buying a new construction home in Kansas City, you need to listen to this entire video. There is so much you need to know before just picking some random ass builder and hoping that and praying that they're the right one. Doesn't matter about price, doesn't matter about expertise. What matters truly, we're going to be discussing in this video. And if you're wondering who the heck am I am Big Mike. I'm a local Kansas City real estate agent, and I actually specialize here in the Kansas City Northland area. And my entire job in this world is to provide as much value as possible. And if you so desire to work with me, feel free to reach out. I might be able to help you. If not, I can at least point you in the right direction as to what can help you. But without further ado, let's dive into the list. Number one is research the builder's reputation. Do they have a bunch of lawsuits going against them? Do they have a bunch of buyers that have complained about them? What is their character like? What are their water intrusion measures that they take? How good are the houses that they build? How many times do they have to come back to service a warranty? There are so many questions you need to be asking just to get a builder's sense. And ultimately, I believe character is destiny. If you get a weird vibe about a builder, stay away. Your gut feeling is that little sensation that tries to warn you of danger. If you choose not to listen to it, man, just choose to waste money. At the end, the cheapest builder isn't always the best. I've heard a lot of people actually build houses and they have went through the entire process and they actually end up paying more than the expensive person because of the add-ons. The base price that builders offer is just that, a base price. When car dealers advertise base price on commercials and then you actually build the vehicle that you want and it's only about 25 to 30% more, that's exactly how new construction builds are. Just because you see the price doesn't mean that's the price that you pay. So just be wary of that, do some due diligence, and ultimately check a person's character over anything. Character is destiny, remember that. Now, I briefly just touched on it, but number two is definitely understand the true cost. It's not the advertised price that the builder's offering. If they say, hey, $500,000 will get you into the base price, that is true. If you want everything basic builder grade inside your house, 100%. Good rule of thumb is 70-20-10. 70% of your entire budget goes to the base price of the builder's home. 20% of your budget goes to the lot price of the builder's home. 10% goes to all the upgrades you want in the house. And I would argue if you're building a new construction house, don't just go builder grade. You have one chance to build the entire design that you actually want. You may not be able to change around the foot plan, but you can definitely change the fixtures. You can change the finishes. You can change the flooring. You can change all the things that you always wanted. Why not take advantage of that? If it's a little bit more expensive, but you absolutely love it, I would say go for it. You get one opportunity, and most of the time, it's a long process. Why not get exactly what you want and saving a couple bucks? Just my take. Ultimately, just sit down with the builder and go over all the prices. Hey, this is what I want. If you already know you want an upgraded fridge, for example, to be put in, or you want an upgraded whatever the case may be, if you know that, discuss it up front. There's nothing worse than going through the entire build process and you can just constantly upgrade. I've actually heard builders say if it's not in the contract up front, there is a substantial upcharge. And it's one of those because they purchase everything and then they have to go repurchase again and then now they have to sit on an item, there is a cost involved. So it's one of those, just be ultimately upfront on what you're trying to do. The more information you can give a builder, the more they can get you a proper price, and the more the proper price is, the more it's going to save you in the long run. So do all your due diligence up front instead of on the back end and just ultimately delaying the entire process because of indecisiveness. Now, number three is definitely prepare for construction delays. Now, unless you live in an absolutely perfect world, and I don't know anybody that does, but in case you do, expect the weather to not cooperate, expect random situations going on with the contractors, maybe a few delays, maybe some different color choices. Expect delays. If you have a very tight number, like, hey, in 6 months, I absolutely have to move into this house, new construction build may not be the right option for you. There are so many things that could go wrong with this entire process. I mean, there could be water intrusion that happens. Maybe somebody missing some caulking somewhere. Maybe the roof got delayed. I mean, Trump is sitting here trying to do more tariffs. What is that going to do to new construction? There are so many what-if factors. It's one of those only build completely brand new if you have an extremely flexible move-in date. If you're tight, buy something used, then build, and then sell that. Buy the property that you are going to live in at a good price so you can sell at a future for minimal losses, if not possible, small little little gains. That's what I would suggest ultimately. Definitely only buy new construction if you factor in neighborhood growth and appreciation. If there is a neighborhood that is in the middle of BFE, maybe 15 minutes past it, and you are the very first house out there and you have no idea what's going to happen, it's something that you need to keep track of. Now, if a neighborhood has already been established and you see phase 2, phase 3, possibly phase 4, 5, you name it, and you still know there's more phases to be coming in, do you think new construction's dropping anytime soon? COVID has set a dangerous precedent, and it's basically if somebody needs something bad enough, they are willing to pay. Well, new construction is no laughing matter. The building materials have skyrocketed. Interest rates are at some of the highest levels we've seen in 10 years. Builders are sometimes offering incentives to get people into their new construction houses, but just keep wary. What does the overall appreciation look like for your house? Are you top in the market right now? Do you plan on selling this house in a few years? Are you buying an entry-level house just because you want that new construction feel? Do your own research. Find what's going on the area. What is going to make this house appreciate? New construction is a reason it's new construction. It is some of the most expensive per square foot in the area. Now, if you're thinking about just living here for a couple years, new construction may not be a benefit to you, and you should ultimately look at a more used home just for the resale value opportunities. New construction, I would always suggest never buy a house unless you're willing to live there for at least 5 years. But if you're top ticking, and let's say you go the absolute extreme, all the upgrades you could possibly get into new construction, it's going to be hard to make money in the long run because there's going to be other houses that sell for in the area significantly cheaper. So you got to justify to an appraiser and a possible client that your house is worth more because of the finishes. And ultimately, most of the time, the upgraded finishes will get you a little bit, but never as much as you really hope. But just be wary about that. Do not over customize your house, even if you can, just because always keep in mind of resale. Now, if you plan on dying in the house, do whatever you desire. That's the house you're going to live in till the day you die. Make it 100% yours. But most of the time, if you plan on reselling anytime in the future, cater to the many, not the few. Next on this list, know the builder's warranty. Now, there's going to be fine print. Are they going to help you in the future or not? Most builders, I would say, are. But there are some builders, especially small companies, that will not adhere to a warranty. Get it in writing. What are they going to fix in the event of? The biggest one is water intrusion. What is their water plan? What are they going to do if there's cracking in drywall? What is their warranty? You need to be so thoroughly knowing this that you can literally recite it in your sleep. There's a year-long warranty. What is your case? Are you going to wait till something gets completely bad? Are you going to call them at the first sign of trouble? It's one of those, get it in writing, get it up front, and definitely just do your due diligence. The more work you put up front, the better off you'll be in life. Now, I'm going to reiterate what I mentioned earlier. Only buy new construction if you've absolutely considered resale value and an exit strategy, especially if you get into an entry-level house. So in a big development where every other house looks the exact same, let's say you buy. Let's say your neighbor buys a month later and you guys are both living there for 4 years. Well, let's just imagine it's a development with a bunch of houses popping up. Well, ultimately, if everyone decides to sell at the exact same time, it's going to be a race to the bottom. If you have a 100-house development and 10 of your neighbors, that's 10% of houses sold. On top of all the houses that are currently being built and sold, it's going to drop the prices there too. And ultimately, when you're trying to sell your house for top tier value, how are you going to compare with a brand new construction house with brand new construction incentives? Always consider an exit plan, especially when you're thinking about entry-level houses. Treat your property like an investment also. Do not over customize. I know I just mentioned that, but do not. I promise you, if you want some outlandish walls, do it while you're living there, but know it's best to switch it back to normal when it comes time to sell. Only buy new construction if you've compared. What does existing homes get you compared to what do new homes get you? Ultimately, I know it's up to you. And some people love new construction, and I get it. And I'm a big advocate. I think new construction is phenomenal. It's less headache, especially if you're a busy professional like me. Now, let's say you do have some extra time on your hands and you are pretty handy. I would suggest going a resale home. Reason for it is the cost per square foot is significantly cheaper. With building prices being somewhere in the tune of about $250 a square foot, you can still buy used homes for about $160 to $180 a square foot. To put an example, a 2,000 square foot brand new construction house at $250 a square foot is $500,000. Now let's say $150 a square foot for a 2,000 square foot used house, you're looking at $300,000. That's just a very quick price comparison. But if you can go throw $50,000 at a house that are getting sold at $150 a square foot, it still saves you significantly a lot of money. So it's one of those, if you absolutely have to have new construction, do it. But definitely keep track of what does existing homes get me and how much more valuable is it to me for the long run to buy existing compared to new. Just something to always keep a track of. Next on this list is only buy new construction if you've planned for landscaping and exterior details. And the reason for it is if you want that giant backyard oasis or you want that huge garden up front next to your house, new construction normally isn't very thorough as far as the landscaping or the exterior will look. So it's one of those, if you want that one-of-a-kind exterior, maybe that backyard oasis, pool, you want giant stonework in the back, maybe you want an outdoor grotto, outdoor living section, whatever the case may be. Maybe you want an entire front yard full of flowers and different landscaping in these bricks. New construction normally caters very minimal, and I would say just grass to the maximum of put in. If you want that extra, it's expensive. So it's one of those, you may have just bought a $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 house, $1 million house, and you built it up to the extreme. That last $25,000, $30,000 worth of landscaping is the very first thing that you see when you pull up every single day. It's something that you should not skimp out on, and yet people will spend so much money inside their house that they forget about the outside. And then whenever they pull up every single day, they're like, man, you know what? I should have just did it. It's one of those, expect that first. What do you want your outside to look like? Are you going to get it very thorough, or are you going to skip a lot of things? Is it better to have a little bit more upgraded fixtures, a little bit more downgraded fixtures, to have a more outside that you desire, an exterior that you desire, maybe a backyard that you desire, maybe you want a roof over your back deck? It's some of those things that you really need to keep in track of if you really want the house that you desire. And I get it, everyone's pocketbook only stretches so far, but it's one of those, the more thorough that you are up front, the better off you are in the long run. Do you need those gold-plated finishes all throughout the house, or can you settle with just chrome finishes so you can get a little bit more lavish front yard look? Maybe some landscaping, maybe some bushes, maybe you actually get a tree that looks a lot healthier than one that would get literally knocked over in the first windstorm. It's just some of those things that you need to keep in track of. Now, this one's gonna definitely offend a lot of people. What are your must-haves or must-not-haves? So there's many different things in it. You can easily spend an astronomical amount of money during a new construction build process. It's very easy, especially when you get sky's the limit in finishes. But ultimately, what are your absolute must-haves? Is it all the bedrooms going to be a significant size, or is it all the bedrooms going to have to be bigger size? Do you absolutely have to have a kitchen island, or do you not? Do you want complete openness? Do you need all the finishes that you possibly desire? Do you need the ceiling fans to be massive? Do you need sliding glass doors with tempered glass? Do you need an entire backside of windows just so you can see a backyard of forest? Whatever the case may be, I'm not sure what that would look like. Do you need that 4-car garage when you only need 3? There's so many upgrades that you can do inside a new construction house that you really need to figure out, what do you absolutely have to have? And then once you figure out what you absolutely have to have, then you work your way backwards. Then you say, okay, well, I really want the granite countertops. Okay, but there's maybe showing you some marble countertops. Those are significantly more expensive. It's just one of those things, keeping track of your bills, because sky is a limit. I know it looks like nothing whenever you're just buying countertops. Okay, that's only an extra $500. Now, let's say square footage for the flooring is an extra $2 a square foot. Doesn't seem like shit until you go, okay, well, there's an extra 1,500 square foot on the main level. Well, that's an extra $3,000 very quickly on top of the expenses that hopefully are already included. But just to give you an idea, what do you absolutely need? And then you figure your way backwards. So just keep in mind, because you will go broke if you do not have a budget and a plan in place. And then last but not least, the best thing you can possibly do, even if you choose not to call me as your real estate professional, that's all right. Go over everything with a pro. Before you sit down, find an agent that will actually represent you. They're going to be your liaison between the builder. Ultimately, the builder's job is to turn a profit. Do you think they really care about how you feel? They should, but let's be honest. I mean, they're doing this for a job, and you are preventing them from getting paid. My entire job is to represent clients from not getting screwed over, and I do pretty well at it. So it's one of those, find an agent that knows what the hell they're doing and that can explain to a builder exactly what you desire. If you want to do it by yourself, go all ahead. When emotions are tied into anything in this lifetime, it becomes hard to say yes and no to certain things. That's just why I would think always go with an agent, but that's me. I'm plugging myself in. And there you have it. Just 10 things that you should never never buy a new construction home in Kansas City unless you know these. And it's gonna save you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars during this entire build process. And if you're like, you know what, I kind of like this guy, I dig him, I feel like he'll definitely tell me the real truth and save my ass if I need it, feel free to reach out to me. Once again, I'm Big Mike. Check me on Instagram, check me on Google, check me everywhere that social media is present. I'd love to help you and your family make a serious move. And until that time comes, subscribe to the channel. I try to give as much value about the Kansas City Northland as I humanly possibly can. And until you call me, I will continue to give value. But I'm done talking. That's the video. Peace.